Hello, this is Eduardo Suarez. In this video, we're going to add a servo gripper to the end of hand tooling, and we're going to create a second motion group for actuating the gripper. Here I have a work cell with a vacuum gripper on the end of hand tooling. I'm using user tool 1 to define the user tool for this gripper. What we're going to do is assign a second gripper to user tool 2. This is going to be a servo gripper, and for that we're going to create a second motion group. We're going to serialize the robot to add the second motion group. We're going to select the group 1 on the robot controller. We're going to right click and we're going to select properties. On the general tab, on the property windows, we're going to select serialize robot, and we're going to get a warning message that says changing the configuration for the robot, and we press OK. The robot editor wizard, we're going to select create as a modification of the existing robot, and we're going to select step number 5, additional motion groups. Here we're going to select the motion group that we want to add. We're going to select it by order number. We're going to select age 874. That is the general positioner. And we're going to select group number 2. You're going to notice here that we have 8 groups from 2 to 8. That's because the robot controller can accept up to 8 motion groups, and group number 1 is already taken by the robot. We're going to press next, and in here we're going to add the option package R663. That's the constant path. We're going to need that option package if we don't get an error on the next step. So now we're going to press next. Errors, and we're going to press finished. So now we need to press apply to apply the changes. We're going to get another warning message, and we're going to select reserialize robot. General positioner configuration screen, and this is going to be a long list of settings that we need to do. We can close this part of the window, and on this screen we're going to select 1. This screen we're going to select the axis. We're going to select 7. You're going to notice that this is a 4-axis robot, so axis 1 to 4 are already taken, and we're going to leave axis 5 and 6 as a pair. We're going to press enter. On this screen we're going to select 2. On this screen we're going to select 2. This screen we're going to select 2. On this screen we're going to select 64. Here we're going to select 2. Here we're going to select 2. Here we're going to select 2 again. And here we're going to select 1 linear axis. On this screen we're going to select 10 for the gear ratio. Here we're going to select 2. Here we're going to select 1. Here we're going to select 400 millimeters. That's going to be the maximum distance that the gripper is going to move. In this case, it's going to open. And here we're going to select 125 millimeters. That's the minimum distance that the gripper is going to move. That's going to be the close position. This screen we select 0. Here we select 2. Here we select 2 again. Here we select 2. Here we select 2. Here we're going to select 2 again. Here we're going to select 2. Select 2 again. And we're going to exit the menu with 4. And that concludes the configuration for the general positioner. And now we can close this window. You're going to notice that the general positioner is added as a group 2 on the robot controller. The next step is going to be adding the servo gripper. We're going to expand the group 1 and add a new end-around tooling. You're going to notice that even though the general position is in group 2, we define the user tools on group 1. If we expand group 2, you're going to notice there is nothing there except for the link to join 1. We're going to select the end-around tooling 2, user tool 2. We're going to right click and we're going to select tooling library. From the tooling library, we're going to select servo hands. And from the servo hands, we're going to select the servo hand 2C one side. We're going to press OK. And you're going to notice now that the gripper was added to the end-around tooling. We're going to expand the user tool 2. We're going to select the servo hand. We're going to right click. We're going to go to properties. We're going to select the motion tab. And we're going to make sure that the group is assigned to group 2. And now what we can do, we can jog the gripper, open, and you're going to notice that it's 400 millimeters as we have defined in the settings. And we can jog it to close, and the position is going to be 125 millimeters. If you want to do this one from the teach pendant, we're going to open the teach pendant. We're going to select the group 2 join, so we can select group and go from group 1 to group 2. Make sure that you are in group 2 joined, and now we can press shift and jog the gripper using the X plus or the X minus. Now we're going to define the user tool. We're going to use the direct entry method for these values. In this case, we're going to place the triad on the center of the fixed arm clamp. So we're going to select user tool 2. We're going to go to properties. We're going to select the user tool, and we're going to just put these numbers. And we can see now that the triad is positioned to the center of the fixed clamp. If we want to use the teach pendant, we're going to open up again the teach pendant here. We're going to select menu. We're going to select setup frames. You'll notice here that I have already given a name to the user tool number 2. And we're going to select details. And if we want to use another method instead of using the direct entry, the method that we have to use is going to be 2 points plus C, because this is a 4-axis robot. And with this, I'm going to conclude the presentation for this video. Still, there is a lot to cover, so in a future video, we're going to see how to use the palletizer with the second motion group servo gripper.